Hi, this is Diane. I'm going to do a brief demonstration on how to do contour line. So let's get started. So for contour line, you want to use a B pencil. I've talked about that in a previous handout, so I'm not going to go into the details of that. I am going to use a ebony pencil, which is the equivalent of a B8 pencil. I'm also going to show you what happens when you use the H pencils. But let me begin with how to do it correctly. So you want to use B pencils, and the idea behind contour line is that it should have a natural look, it should have a natural flow to it, and there should be a variation in the width. Now, there's two ways to approach this. One way is to approach it by thinking where the light directly hits the object that you're drawing. Where the light is directly hitting the object, the line should be thin. It can be non-existent, but it should be very thin at least. And in the areas where the line is in shadow, the contour line should be thicker. There is a medium kind of thickness, which would be a transition area where there is some light, some shadow, but it's not either extreme. So let me go ahead and show you that. So first I'm going to start with one where I have very up at the top, I have light up there, and you can see I'm gently beginning to push down and get a thicker line. And as I get down into this area, I'm going to have that, the thickest line, and I'm slowing. You can see I'm moving slowly. I'm not rushing through this. And then I'm going to gently get back to the thin line. So this looks a little bit thin here. I'm going to go back over that. And I have to be careful when you go over a line that it doesn't look like you did that, okay? Sometimes people will go back through and it will be very chunky, and you'll see where the second time they drew on a line where it begins and ends. But so in this case, the light source would be up here. Personally, I'd want that to be a little bit lighter here. But light source is here, shadow is here, medium and transition lines are here. If this is done as outline opposed to contour line, that would look like this. It would be all the same width all the way through. And when you are trying to achieve realism in your drawings, this is not what you want to do. You do not want to have outline. You want to have contour line. Now, there will be times when you want to create emphasis with line, and so it doesn't, contour line doesn't have to always be about where the light source is. For example, perhaps you have a line and you want to create some emphasis. So I want to have some emphasis at the top of this line here. As it goes down, I want it to lose it. Again, top of the line, and so on and so forth. So emphasis and contour line are also, can also be very important. Now, the reasons you don't want to use H pencils is because they simply don't put out enough value. So for example, if I try to do this, okay, now I'm pushing down harder. I'm using an H2 pencil. Right now I'm pushing down as hard as I can. And you can kind of see some of the difference, but nothing like we have over here. So reasons to not use H pencils. There is one last thing that I failed to mention, and I'm trying to draw this contour line with a continuous line. And I don't mean that I necessarily drew it all at one time, okay? You can do that. But you can see it looks like one line. Some people are sketchy drawers, and actually that's where I have started from. I have learned to get myself to be able to do this, but how that might look is something like this. So You can see I'm creating this with multiple lines. So, and in this case, I've got the light source over here. What I'm going to ask you to do in my class is strive to go for this continuous line. Once you have mastered this, you can revert back to this if this is what you do. But I find the best way to understand how to do contour line is to, in fact, do it in this kind of continual line. And as I said, once mastered, you can adapt it and get it to work in a multiple line. Degas does this. When you look at Degas sketches, you can see how he uses multiple lines for that. So there you go. Whoops, that was my thumb. There you go. Bye.